Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening and or good night. Welcome back to Abstract Medicine. It's morning here and I'm very excited about doing this reading for all of you. I'm still in my robe and I thought it'd be a really cozy reading, and yeah, it's gonna be lovely. So get yourself a cup of tea or a coffee or a drink, put it up on the large screen, get comfortable. Remember to take your notepads and pens or journals, have them at the ready. There's going to be a lot to get into, I feel. And thank you so much for your private bookings. Also, thank you so much for your patience as well in the delivery of this video. I do really try to do my best to deliver weekly videos, but to be honest with you, on menstrual cycles, it can be very, very difficult to just do this. But nonetheless, I am here, and I'm also wishing you all a beautiful, happy Christmas, happy holidays, happy festive season. So thank you so much. So lovely announcement. Today we have a new tarot deck for the collective. Woo! And it's been charging for like 4 days, I think, with this beautiful amethyst crystal that I have. And yeah, it's a lovely tarot deck. It's Japanese. It's called Yokai Tarot, and it is a gift from Ildiko, who has been an abstract medicine member of the beautiful collective team that we have here for a long time. And yeah, she actually, interestingly, she mainly books shamanic healing sessions with me, which is really cool. But yeah, we are going to be looking at this tarot deck today. Today we're going to be using it. I've never opened it. I've never touched it. But what I love about it, it's by my favourite Italian tarot publishers, and they're called Lo Scarabeo, and the cards are designed by Marga Biazzi and Paolo Bertazzo. Okay, so what I love also is a beautiful synchronicity about Japan, because I've just been accepted to participate in a group art show in Japan next year. So I'm very, very excited about that. It's one painting, but it's been my dream to go to Japan, and I'm like ridiculously excited about it. And I'm sure you can feel the excitement on my end. So thank you so much for already your support. I feel the energy already. So today we're going to be looking at what your ancestors have to tell you today or want to share with you. It's going to be a general reading for all of you, okay? We've got the lovely incense burning as well. It's sandalwood, for those of you who are wanting to know, and I just love burning incense when I'm working as an artist or when I'm about to do a tarot reading. Talking about art, excuse my fingers, my nails, they're completely buggered. I've been painting like crazy. So yeah, make sure to follow the TikTok account that I have, just based mainly on my art process. Of course, you can also follow my Instagram account as well. All the information is down below. So as you can see, never been opened. So we're going to open it today. While I do that, as I said, get comfortable, get cozy, get your favourite snack. And this card deck, as I said, has been charging with this amethyst crystal for 4 days. So it's definitely ready. I feel like it's ready, okay? It's ready. So we're just going to shuffle. I mean, the design is just so beautiful. I'm very excited about this. So I'm just going to put, this is just a fake card. So I'm going to put this in my journal. So thank you, Ildiko. Shout out to Ilds. Thank you. And yeah, thank you so much. And also shout out to Strawberry Propaganda as well for your suggestion on TikTok as well, sending the Abstract Medicine podcast to a chap who has an AI friend and using Abstract Medicine as an example for ChatGPT. So thank you so much. We are in the age of Aquarius. Okay, all right. So I think we're almost ready. Also, I want to ask Strawberry Propaganda how the Gaia Tarot deck has been serving you as well. I love the energy. As you know, I always love reading for all of you here on YouTube. I just love the energy here on YouTube. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite social platforms. Okay, and we're gonna put this, we're gonna put this here so you can see. Okay, let's switch these little candles on too. Okay, and then we will put this here as well. Very cute. All right, so let's just settle the energies. My cup of tea. It's root licorice, by the way, my tea. So thank you so much, angels, ancestors, guides, for the delivery of this message. And I really appreciate the messages that come through from the ancestors about what we need to know, what the ancestors are wanting to share with us today in the light, in protection. Thank you so much, with love. So as there's going to be lots of different scenarios, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? Okay, ancestors, so let's start with these three, okay? Start with these three cards. First card, we have the Five of Swords. I mean, immediately, as you can see, there are 5 samurai swords here, all right? So, you know, the Five of Swords is about you from your past, dealing with deception, dealing with deceptive energies, and maybe having to put boundaries up, I'm feeling. But by doing that, you're also hurting yourself by saying the truth. Maybe this is something that you felt like you couldn't do and speak up about saying your truth, because swords are all about truth, communication. And I see that this crow here is grabbing 3 of the swords with its claws, and those 3 claws grabbing onto those 3 swords also indicate heartbreak, because the 3 of Swords is also the energy of loss, heartache, pain after betrayal. And I feel like there was pain in your past, and the ancestors feel like there was that there was a deceptive energy. This could have been 2 people that were deceptive towards you. They didn't speak their truth. They were very stubborn about not revealing their true selves to you. And I feel like, there was something that you learnt in your recent past, or your past, where speaking your truth used to be something that you didn't feel like you could do, because you were always left out in the cold, you were always left out wanting, you were always left out hurting, you were always left out separated, you were always left out feeling betrayed, and having to take a long time to heal from that pain by just showing up and being your authentic self, or saying something that really felt truthful to your soul and from your heart space. And being genuine was also something that your ancestors are saying that it's almost like you were castigated for just being your honest and true self, and by speaking your truth and being yourself and sharing your light to the world just wasn't good enough. Maybe you were around people, maybe these were parents or 2 people around you who really left in a very dark and indelible mark on you, saying that you can't do this, you can't do that, because you're just going to be hurt. You know, you can't, it's like people saying that you can't be an artist because you're just going to fail. You know, like that's not constructive criticism. And so I get the sense that in your past you were dealing with people who were naysayers, people who were very deceptive with their intentions, people who were very untruthful, as in they lied a lot, people who thought that you could get by in life just by lying. And lying was the way to get through life. And it's not necessarily the case of I'm going to just make it into being, just pretend that I'm going to be the best at this and it's going to happen. It's not that kind of trickery of that law of attraction in that way. It's more about someone who cheats their way through life, you know. And I feel like people around you have been cheaters. You know, you've been around with a lot of deceptive energies, and the ancestors want to acknowledge that actually, really, you are a warrior. And I feel like in your past, you realize in your recent past that you are coming up for air from people who, and away from people who just had bad intentions and who lied a lot. You know, it's one of those weird things where you're around people who you know are a bad influence. Liars, cheaters, deceptive people. They're not game changers. They're not visionaries. They're not supportive on their own. They're not supportive to a positive vision. They're not on the right path. They are possibly gamblers, people who cheat, lie their way through life and expect that everyone else does the same too. And this comes from an unhealed wound of their own. It's got nothing to do with you. And as I always say, or as I like to say in the readings, however people treat you has got nothing to do with you. You know, it's one of those things that we get to learn. And what's helpful is also the Toltec philosophy of Mexico, which is always do your best, live, you know, be integral with your word, don't make assumptions, and yeah, I lost my train of thought. But basically, it's like you just can't live your life in a way that is dishonorable to your own path. And all you can do is just be the best that you can do. And the last Toltec philosophy teaching is don't take things personally. So if we can live our life just with that, then hopefully we'll live a life that is less burdensome. So we're not carrying the load of other people. But I feel like in your past, your ancestors are saying that you had risen up away from this kind of crazy energy. I'm picking up on someone who was around people who you could just tell, you just would know objectively that they're bad influence, and they're making you out to seem as if you're the bad guy, and that's just not the truth. It's sort of like a weird mind game, a weird confusing mental play that they were dealing with you. And I feel like you realize something in your recent past that the ancestors tried to help you out with, to see clarity and to see truth, that actually it's best to get away from those people, no matter who they may be, so that you could live your truth, no matter how heartbreaking it may have been to separate yourself from them, because you have a different blueprint, you have a different soul calling, and they are aware of that. That's the only reason why they are pulling you away and pushing you down and bringing you down with their negative vibes, because they know that you have something that they potentially could have, and that's being truthful, and that's being an innocent soul, and they just choose not to. So they try to take that from you, or sabotage that path of your true calling from you. Let's have a look at the next card. Yeah, look, the next card we have is the Ten of Swords. And, you know, as you can see by this card, it is a very painful ending. You know, we spoke about your ancestors helping you out with... I mean, as I'm speaking, I'm actually feeling really drained. And I feel that you're very drained, collective, with the energies that you've recently dealt with. And we spoke about betrayal. The Ten of Swords does talk about betrayal. It talks about people that have been betrayed. Their trust has been betrayed. You know, you gave your trust to people. You gave your trust to maybe 10 people. These 10 swords talk about 10 truths that were betrayed. And upon you, people had stabbed you in the back. And you feel depleted. You feel exhausted. You feel tired. It's almost like your own spirit had gone away with you, I'm hearing. It's the energy of exhaustion. It's the energy of death. It's the energy of, there is no way on earth that I can get up from this. There's no way on earth I can survive this. I could not deal with this ever again. This is the death of 1,000 paper cuts. And the ancestors want to tell you today that they acknowledge that, but they were with you the whole time. While you were going through this madness, while you were going through this exhaustion, while you were going through this betrayal of trust of people, while you were in your solemnity phase, and you needed time to recuperate, and that was going to take a long time, and this could take a long time. This could be now, right now, where you're feeling this in the present moment. You're feeling just darn exhausted, you know? Now, the swords are the suit representing the season of winter. So very opportune time right now as well, of course, with the season of winter being officially today, I believe. It's the 20th of December. Now it's the 22nd of December. So we are officially in winter. There's I think there's a bit of snow and frost in the air outside in the countryside here. It's 17 on the timer, which is telling me it's an energy of healing. It's the star card. 17 is the star card in the major arcana, but 1 and 7 adds up to a number 8. Number 8 is what goes around comes around in numerology. It's what I give is what I will receive. And I feel like your time is coming for positive abundance to come back your way. There's some sort of boomerang effect that is coming back to you. And I don't think it's what you think it is. I don't think it's more negativity in your energy, more negativity in your aura, more negativity in your home, in your space, in your mental space, in your career. You know, this is an individual who has really suffered a lot of pain. This is an individual that will not be able to, they just will not be able to get up from this. Now, some of you could be dealing with mental health issues at this time, and maybe I'm hoping that these readings that I'll be providing for you during this winter, as I'll be able to focus more attention for Abstract Medicine Collective as well, will support you to help you get up and get out. Now, there's a message here for those of you who are really suffering with mental health issues, and the ancestors are saying to get out, just to to get out the door, go for a walk. You know, Cynthia Oriva, who's an actor, and she's recently known for Wicked, but she's also done other things. I was listening to her Actors on Actors interview with Angelina Jolie, but also her interview with Jay Shetty, yeah. And she talks about running and how she runs, right? And she lives in LA now. And Jay Shetty also lives in LA. And it's really funny as a Brit, I understand this. Like when you hear another British accent, you just kind of like, oh, it feels like home. And they say the same thing. And they were both worried about well, Jay in particular was worried about him losing his British accent. But yeah, she says, Cynthia Erivo says that the advice that she gives to people, she also teaches drama as well, I think in London. I'm pretty sure it's City and Guilds. But anyway, she says, look, just walking out the door, getting your 2 feet out of your door is great. Like, that's enough. You don't have to be running a marathon as soon as you start. Just stepping outside the door. And then the next day, you might just walk to the end of the road. And then the next day, you may, I don't know, start picking up your momentum a little bit and going a little bit further and a little bit further. And then eventually and it's one of those things that you just, one step. One step is the answer right now. So you may be feeling absolutely and utterly, completely betrayed, forlorn, depleted, exhausted. This could also just be the fact that we are in the season of winter, where we're all just like, okay, I'm done for the year. I'm tired. I really need to recuperate my energy. And I feel like the ancestors are saying, it's okay. You don't have to be active right now. You can just rest. So the angels are saying, and your ancestors are saying, it's okay to rest. It's okay to be in the season of your life right now. And I feel I'm picking up on this image that I'm seeing of a frog in stasis. Now, stasis is when certain animals, I feel reptiles, but also bears, for example, they go into a low energy mode. And there are certain frogs that just look like they're dead, but they're completely frozen. And they awake later on. And I feel like, yes, spring is going to be significant in terms of this waking up. I also get the sense that some of you are going to be experiencing another awakening or a spiritual awakening soon in the next 3 to 4 months, which would be springtime. I'm also picking up on Aries as well, which is the bringer of that season of spring. 5 of Cups. So we have this energy of disappointment. So say, for example, you finally get up in your near future from this stasis mode and you're left with disappointment. Well, of course you're going to be left with disappointment because, again, you've got to allow the seasons to have it their own time. And you can't just suddenly get up, the ancestors are saying, to be met with like spring, sunshine, rainbows, birds flying, chirping, animals copulating, it's happiness and joy and sunlight and warmth. All of a sudden, it takes time. So allow yourself already, prep yourself now to not have any expectations. And I'm not saying prep yourself for disappointment. I'm saying prep yourself for not having any expectations. Because when we have expectations, and this is a message for me too, and I know that some of you are writing notes on this already, when we have expectations about things, we get disappointed. Because when we meet that expectation, we get the dejected feeling that it wasn't met. And you can save yourself from that right now. But it's also the energy of, you've got these 3 cups or 3 vessels of water at the front before you, and then behind you you've got these 2 water vessels behind you that maybe you're not really understanding right now, and you're not quite aware right now that you have something that is on its way, that's going to be emotionally a match for you, emotionally fulfilling and nourishing, because water is nourishment. So you're looking at these 3 cups, you're heading in the right direction. So you get up and you finally make that first step out the door, and you're met with disappointment, but that's okay. That's just the body catching up on the mental. going, okay, I'm still feeling crap. And you allow yourself to feel crap. That's okay. Now, I know that some of you are getting emotional already by me sharing that with you. And I understand that. I feel like some of you have not really been seen for a long time. You haven't been seen, you haven't been appreciated, you haven't been loved, you haven't been cuddled, you haven't been hugged. You know, it sucks. It's crap. It hurts. And allow yourself to feel all of those feelings with the water energy. So you're moving in the right direction. That I do see. I'm also seeing this tree here that's covered up with snow. And this tree for me signifies winter, but it also signifies to me Sakura. Sakura, the 1 week of the blossom trees in Japan that bloom and usher in the spring. And it's such a beautiful thing, and I would love to experience that myself in Japan one day. But I see that maybe there have been some friends of yours with the Three of Cups here where you had fun with, there was joy in the connection, and maybe you can't depend on them at this time. Or the ancestors say that maybe there's some disappointment with the friends that you thought were your ride or die, and they ended up not being a ride or die. Let's get some more clarification, please. What else do the ancestors want to share with us? They're saying pay attention to the numbers. So we have 5, 10 and 5. 5 and 5 is 10, and we have a 10 here. You know, what sets you apart, collective, is that you are different from the whole. You do stand out. And I do see with the number 5s here and the number 10 being its match doubled. I see that there are people in separation. I see that there is love that has been lost in whichever way you wish to see it or way you've experienced it. I see that there is a completion, an ending, and I see that there is a new beginning with a 10, which starts with a 1. And maybe the lesson right now is to focus on you and to focus on your connection with spirit in however way you do that, through meditation, through the use of divination tools, through journaling. What else do the ancestors want to share with us today? We've got the 4 of Cups in the reverse. Okay, I'll just show you the card upright. And it's in the reverse, okay? So typically this would be about boredom, stagnation, sadness, but I get the sense that this energy here was just not emotionally fulfilling for you. I also get the sense that there's an ancestor of yours that's trying to help you out, or had tried to help you out in your past with love, focused on your own heart space. So I'm getting the energy of someone or people here in the collective who are givers rather than takers. And I feel that the people that you had surrounded yourself with in your past were takers. And your ancestor or ancestors showed you a way, sent you a message somehow, that you get to focus that love that you outpour to others and to pour that back into you, into your own heart space. Because again, when we give to people that just take and take and take, we do feel depleted. We feel exhausted. We feel like that's the only exchange that they want from us, and that's what the relationship is built on. And that's not a reciprocal positive, that's a reciprocal actually negative. So it's more of you're the bank account and you're going into overdraft, right? So you're going into the negative rather than the positive. So it's about possibly some of you financially being at a depletion rather than a positive financial increase. Now, finances and energy and your own sense of value are heavily tied. And when we put a lot and outpour our energy in our skills, our gifts, with our gifts, in our career, in our job, with people whom we surround ourselves, there can be an undervaluing of what we provide in the world. Okay. So this card would make sense with this. Okay, so there's some sort of clarity that was experienced recently with the Four of Cups in the reversed. There's some sort of acceptance or self-acceptance. There's some sort of new ambition that was experienced in the past. And I feel like this acceptance and this new ambition came through with the magical wand, like godmother, godfather wand. Maybe you have that, godmother or godfather as an ancestor. But it's that magical wand that gave you that illumination to have drive, to have ambition, to step away from these people. Ambition can be that too. The ambition to step away from people who drain our energy. That's an ambitious feat. That's heavily tied with challenges and courage. The courage to get away from those challenges. Okay, and doctrines and shackles and traditions and ways of thinking and being. Oh, but it's always been like that. It's like this because it's always been like that. Yeah, but just because it's always been like that doesn't mean it should be like that or it gets to continue being like that. So something has changed. And the ancestors are saying that something has ended. Some way of thinking, one way of thinking has changed. One way of doing things has changed. One way of acting has changed. One way of giving and overgiving has changed in you. And this new ambition, this clarity within you of radical self-acceptance has been thrilling in one ways for you, but I also do see that it's also been very exhausting. So this is your time for recuperation and recovery, actually. And so with this stabbing in the back, with this sadness, with this heavy, heavy pain, I see that you have been praying more. You have been asking for help. And maybe you can't trust, again, with the deceptive energies, from physical people around you for help. So you ask for help from a higher source. You ask for help from your ancestors. And the ancestors are recognizing that they've heard your message and they are helping you right now in this moment of recovery. The next card we have is the Empress. And this card of the Empress came out in the reverse. Now, it's a really interesting card, as you can see, because this Empress has a leg up here. And at first glance, to me, at least, as a viewer of this beautiful picture, illustrative drawing, I saw the whole body going all the way down like this, like that's her whole dress. And she had someone's leg there. But now I can see that she's sitting on some sort of barrel. She's under, I'm seeing bamboo here. And she's sat on some sort of like barrel in like a shed or some sort of structure that is connected to the farm, I'm hearing. And she's holding her left hand. Her left hand is holding her right foot. So she's sort of like perched. She also has these 2 dots above her eyes and in between her eyes that remind me of some sort of antenna. And she's got these lovely stars, again, indicating the Empress energy of, I just heard Andromeda. So some of you could be Andromedians, or you have a very strong connection to the Andromeda constellation or Andromeda. There isn't really a planet anymore. Apparently, supposedly, it was destroyed during a war or wars. So there's a fleet of people that live on this Andromeda sort of spaceship. But anyway, this card came out in the reverse. So, you know, the Emperor, who is the Empress? The Empress is someone who is a mother or has very maternal instincts and is, again, nurturing, giving, loving, affectionate. When we have the Empress in a spread, and when we have an Empress right in the middle of the spread, it's an indication that, or any major arcana, it's an indication there's a big shift that's taking place within you. Either this is internally or this is in your life just in general. And the major arcana is the sign of Taurus and Libra, exalted in Pisces. So these could be your signs or signs that this is your reading as well. Some of you may have tried for a baby and it didn't work out. The ancestors are saying it's not the right time for this soul being to come through. And as I'm saying that, the sun is now shining its rays beautifully. It's going to happen soon, but not right now. The Empress is also a great card for creatives to have in a spread. So if you are a creative in whichever capacity, this is an indication that your creativity has been given to a point of depletion. So some of you may have experienced burnout, or you are about to, in the present moment, feel burnt out. All right. So the Empress is also a message of self-nurturing now. So in the reverse, it's about, okay, how can I focus the love that I give to others, which we mentioned here in the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Swords, to myself now. The Empress is also the woman who has it all. She is the feminine. She is above any queen. She is all queens. She doesn't need a government. She doesn't have a government. She governs all. She has an empire. Now, remember how I spoke about Andromeda and this like fleet that's on the spaceship of Andromedians? Now, it's pretty massive. It's big enough basically to be some sort of planet. Now, size, of course, I mean, I'm actually picking up, I've got to do a reading with Commander Ashtar again, because I'm picking up on his energy again, saying that size doesn't mean what you think it means. You know, a planet, he's saying, could be this little crystal ball, and that's enough, you know? And he's saying to leave it here. Maybe we'll be using it later. But I'm seeing that this grandeur that you have, this resplendent energy that you have, and you offer this great light to the world, is very unique. Remember I spoke about the ambition that you have to step out and away from those people that drain you. You've got to be around people, collective, that are like for like. Now that's that reciprocal positive, not reciprocal negative, because that's not really a reciprocation. It's a reciprocation of sorts, because it's a like for like. It's if you expect negativity to come into your world, then that's what you will expect. That's what will come. But the ambition to step away and step out of this energy of people who drain you has been helped and supported by your prayers and your ancestors that have heard the prayer and want to help you out. And they see you as an empress, but do you see yourself as an empress? Do you see yourself as someone who could govern a fleet of people? Now, I mean, with people, it's like peoples, a civilization, a whole tribe, a whole nation. Because the ancestors say that they see that in you, but you're not seeing that right now within you. Maybe it's because you've just got to recover your energies because you're feeling depleted. Now, the Empress in the reverse deals with domestic issues, because the Empress is the mother, and the mother signifies the home. Now, the Empress is also Venus energy and also the Earth, Mother Earth. Now, maybe this is about, okay, I need to step into being in nature more. I need to ground my energy and do some grounding rituals with the Earth. Maybe this is about wanting domestic bliss, but you can't find it right now. So you find a corner, I heard, in your attic, or some of you find some sort of place where you, in your home, in your room, whatever you have right now at your disposal, to find sanctuary. Because this is really needed. I don't feel right now, your ancestors say, you're not ready to get out in the world right now and just go guns a-blazing, as it were. You need a private sanctuary that's safe for you to recover your energies. Now, your energies include all of your bodies, your light body, your energetic body. I'm hearing your auric body as well. Your physical body. Like, this all needs to be regenerated, and your ancestors want to help regenerate that. Okay, so the Empress in the reverse, as we mentioned, includes domestic issues, insecurity, stagnation, and no progression. So I feel like the ancestors actually are putting you in a timeout so that there is no movement right now in your life, because they're putting you in a freeze mode. When you're in a freeze mode, you can't move. You're conscious, but you can't physically move. So maybe this is a point of, if you want to lay in bed for a little bit longer, just do that. If you want to read in bed for the day, do that. That's okay, that's fine. Animals do this, and we mentioned frogs and bears. You know, bears, they come out in spring, after the winter has thawed, you know, after the harshness of the elements. You know, just being out in nature when it's really cold. I mean, I do really long walks here in nature, and it's like, it's really hard on your body, and you feel really tired at the end of it. Fresh air. In fact, I'm going to go for a walk today. But I see that there's a need for nature and being out, but also a need to really recover your energies. This is incredible. Now, I did shuffle the cards, albeit maybe not the best, but you saw me pull them out. And we have the Emperor in the reverse. Beautiful card. Now, interestingly, this year, in the Chinese astrology, yes, these are Japanese cards, but in Chinese astrology, it was the year of the dragon. Next year, it's the year of the snake. So those two signs could be significant for you. But we have the Emperor in the reverse, which is telling me that you take a step forward in your near future. Cups is the energy of spring. Is it? Hang on. Cups is the energy of... I'm pretty sure Cups is the energy of spring. No, Cups is the energy of summer. And Wands is the energy of spring. So in your mental, it's mental exhaustion, but it's also like, I could do it. I could get up and go, and I could do these things. Yeah, but you're wanting to run before you can walk. You're wanting to overpass the season, summer. You want summer when you need to go through spring, right? So of course you're going to be disappointed. But with the Emperor here, let's have a look. Let's break it down. The Emperor is a man. Emperor is a major shift in your life, a major arcana, a masculine in your life, a father or a father figure. Now, this could also be the ancestors that you may have as grandmother, grandfather, grandparents, godfather, godmother, as we mentioned earlier. Say, for example, you tried to have a child and it wasn't the right time. or maybe, unfortunately, I'm sad to say, but I'm picking up on someone who may have miscarried, and they're holding the energy of that soul still in their heart, and they always will. But it's time to let that go so that you can make space energetically and physically in your physical vessel, if you're women, to bring that in. And if you're not women and you're wanting to adopt a child, or have someone through surrogacy to have a child on your behalf, you got to still energetically put it out there in the universe to make space for that. Clear out your closet and all the things. Make the house ready. Make the domestic bliss that you want to create for that child to come in, or create the domestic bliss that you want to create for your significant person to come in terms of love, a lover, a true match. Now, the Emperor and the Empress are a true match. How remember how we mentioned we had the Two of Cups here, the two water cups vessels behind this individual here. Okay, I'm going, yeah, sure, I can go in the dating scene. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead. And you get disappointed. Of course you're going to get disappointed, because they are not your match. They are not your match. So I feel like you will encounter the person that you get to be with who is your match in divine time. Yes, I know it's annoying to say that, but it's true. It will happen in divine time. The energy that I was picking up on also earlier with just these three cards was I was picking up on two people who are in separation at this time, or two people who are going through the same thing. They're going through the same issues that the other is going through. There are two souls who are going through the same issues that the other soul is going through. We have 5 here and 5 here, which is telling me that there are two individuals that are the same frequency. 5 and 5 is the same frequency. And number 10 is about that recovery and completing that issue so that they can unite. Now, this could be two lovers in separation at this time, twin flame energy, or this could be two individuals right now who are yet to meet on the path of true love. And they're going through these issues right now so that they can deal with it, recover, learn something about themselves. And, something I want to share with you is boundaries. My biggest lesson in this life is boundaries. And I found out yesterday that the message from my ancestor last night was I get to have boundaries for myself. Mic drop. I never knew that. I had never thought of it like that before. And so this is a message for you. Maybe this is a message that you get to understand and appreciate and write down in your journal, or just take it in, encode it within you, that you get to have boundaries for yourself. That's the sense, that's self-respect, that's self-love. Not self-worship, self-love. Now, with the Emperor in the reverse here in your near future, there could be a father who could be disappointing you, or a father figure who could be of a disappointment. Or you go on the dating scene, for example, and it's just not the right time. They're going to disappoint you. So just spare yourself the trouble right now. Try not to go out there just yet doing the dating thing. Allow yourself full recovery until you're able to get out, because you're just going to get hurt again. You're not quite in the mode right now to energetically be with any other people, to be honest with you. I'm feeling you're very fragile. I'm feeling, collective, and it's very, very bright right now. All right, Emperor in reverse, someone who's controlling, someone who's very stubborn, someone who is very conflictual, someone with whom there is a loss of power, someone with whom there is childish tendencies. There's also this energy where the Emperor, remember how I picked up on Aries earlier, ushering the spring? It's not quite time just yet to come out after your winter season, your own personal winter season. It's not spring just yet. So allow the season in your life to complete itself so that you're then ready to come out. But I remember how I spoke about also Aries, and Aries being, and the Emperor being a boss, and your career. It's time to recover. You're sort of on the brink of burnout right now. So it's important to nourish yourself, eat well. The Empress talks about food, good eating, eating well, a balanced lifestyle, but also nurturing yourself. I don't feel like, and this is also something and the ancestors are sharing with me, is I get to nurture myself too right now, just me, myself and I. Just going to nurture me, myself and I. And maybe it's not about working right now. Maybe it's a moment to just, again, not be active, but be more receptive. Go inwards. This is a message about going inwards. Let's take 2 more cards, please, from the Yokai Tarot. Before we do, I want to have a look at Yokai, this deck, and just give you a read of what it's about, okay? Up on the snow-capped brims of the volcanoes, or deep down in the turbid waters of the Pacific, hidden in cold, hollow caves in the ground, or sheltered below the thick canopy of the forests, fluttering idly with cherry petals, carried by the tepid winds of spring, or concealed among the knickknacks in the darkest, most secluded corners of your attic, interesting, mention attic, any place you can think of may be the home of a yokai, one of the spirits of Japanese folklore. These creatures have populated the land of the rising sun since its glorious days, when Izanagi himself raised it from the ocean's depth by churning with the tip of his legendary jeweled spear from time immemorial. They have lived alongside men, sharing earth and its events, appearing seldom when least expected. An erratic behaviour inferred by the term yokai itself, usually translated as strange apparition, despite the fact that both of the kanji used to write it actually bear the same meaning, suspicious or dubious and mysterious. Those who are not familiar with the yokai tend to approach them as an exotic collection of fantasy beasts, ghosts and gods, but nothing could be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, these beings are an integral part of Japan's cultural heritage, sprouting directly from its indigenous religion, Shinto, which holds the animistic belief that all things in nature, and even certain objects, possess a soul. The result of this conviction is a world filled with essence, sentience, and meaning, a world in which anything has agency and will and can therefore be interacted with directly. In short, the yokai represent the personification of all phenomena of reality, and consequently knowing how to deal with them means to know how to deal with reality itself. With this in mind, the union with a tool of inquiry and self-reflection like tarot appears as obvious and natural as ever, as it defines a point of connection between 2 complementary mechanisms, the manifestation of the world as an immanent interlocutor and the communicative power of the 78 arcana to initiate a dialogue with it. Yokai Tarot is the result of this unique combination. I really love that introduction. That's just beautiful. Okay. So yeah, let's just get 2 cards for you from the ancestors. Beautiful messages from the ancestors. All right, let's just get 2 cards from the ancestors. Got 1 here. Oh, and 2 here. My left ear is ringing like crazy. So the ancestors really are here, by the way. And the message is being sent truly, I'm hearing. So you have the 3 of Cups in the reverse. I did talk about friends, didn't I? Disappointment and friends. Say, for example, in your near future, you want to get out there, you want to be sociable, you want to go and hang out with your friends and they can't. You know, this could also be the fact of Christmas. Like, many of us can't necessarily or want to necessarily be with certain people in our lives for Christmas. So you kind of get the FOMO, fear of losing out, when you see online people having a great time. I would suggest to stay away from social media, social platforms that cause pain on your mental capacities about that. So step away from that if you can, because, and you can, it's just going to be really painful, right? So what I'm seeing is the 3 of Cups in the reverse. Again, I always feel like there is something to celebrate soon, but it's not quite there yet. And I know this, but this has been a message about all of that. It almost, but it's not quite there. My tummy is rumbling like crazy. I've actually got to eat something soon, but I'm seeing here that there is something that's not quite cooked just yet. It's if you ate it right now, it wouldn't be healthy for you. It wouldn't be nutritious. Now, that can be a metaphor for everything right now in your life. It's not quite the time. Now, the Three of Cups in the reverse is overindulgence. It can be feeling left out, which we mentioned, FOMO, fear of missing out. And it could be miscommunication. Now, even though we've had Mercury come direct recently, I feel like it's about frequencies. It's about, there's a miscommunication between the people that you have left behind and the person that you are ambitiously becoming. There's a different frequency. That radio station cannot communicate with this radio station channel because it's not on the same bandwidth, not on the same frequency. So once we get that into our heads, that there are two different frequencies that cannot genuinely scientifically communicate to each other, there is an understanding that we are leaving behind people, places, things, friends, or even bad habits, codependency, toxic ways of being, people pleasing, so that we can actually become higher versions of who we are on planet Earth. Okay, let's have a look at this card. We have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So the Seven of Cups typically would be all about imagination, can also talk about confusion. When I see the Seven of Cups in any card reversed, it talks about clarity. Now, again, there's some sort of clarity that you recently experienced in your past in connection to deceptive energies just in general, and truth, really wanting to be propelled from your water well of being, I'm hearing, to become the person that you wish to be. That is very clear to you. Now, this yokai comes from the ocean, comes from the depths of the sea. Now, this yokai talks about psychology, talks about the psyche, talks about deep emotion, talks about the very thing that you fear. And the very thing that you fear is the thing that's going to propel you forwards into the person that you get to be. Now, what that means is, to me, is you're gaining clarity on this achievement that you want to become or accept or receive, because we have a symbol here signifying great honors and victory, and this yokai is pointing its left finger towards great achievement and victory. So you're gaining clarity on this, and again, you will receive the achievement and victory. You will receive nourishing connections. You will receive and be with the person that is your true frequential match, romantically speaking. You will also have the job and be in charge of your finances and your career in a level that is very high. I'm hearing high altitude, high octane. But I see here that not quite yet. And I know it's annoying, but it's just not quite yet. Now, the Seven of Cups in the reverse can also signify indecision for some of you, can also signify daydreaming for some of you, and can also signify moving forward. I feel like it's moving on from emotional heartache in whichever capacity it may have shown itself. I'm going to get one more card for you for the collective from the ancestors. Look, and it's the Lovers in the reverse. Now, you cannot make it up. Like this is the romantic frequential match. This is two people who have made the right choice for each other. Traditionally, nei tarocchi, the lovers would be la scelta, or the choice card. So it's about making the right choice to love you first. They're making the right choice to love themselves first. And when you both do and you're healed, you come together in union. But I think that it's going to be a upside card soon, just not right now, because both of you both beings, you in particular, I'm connecting to you in the collective out there, you're making selective choices for your benefit and based on love and truth. Gemini energy here as well. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands typically would be about moving things forward, having the ambition and drive to move forward, to travel even, having your eyes set on the future, having your eyes set towards a destination. This is the energy of Sagittarius. It's also the energy of someone who is very excited about travel, is very excited about a new beginning, and they're very driven and ambitious to take action, even by getting on a flight and traveling. But if this card comes out in the reverse and it's upside down or reversed, it's telling me there's something that gets to be reviewed and re-looked at, I'm seeing. And I think that this was about to happen, where you're about to embark on a journey, and again, your ancestors put you on a time out. Exactly. The Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck here would indicate that it wasn't quite the right time to travel. Say, for example, or move forward. Say, for example, your flight was delayed, or you didn't have the right visa. You're at the airport, you've got your luggage. Like, this has actually happened to someone I know, where they had all of that and they had to come back home and not back to London, as in get from Heathrow back to London, because they didn't have the right information. That does happen, and that's your ancestors putting you in some sort of lesson that maybe you didn't expect. It also happened to me before as once too, not in the same scenario, but similar, where I actually did the journey. I flew 11 hours from London to Los Angeles, and I had to be flown straight back. I didn't leave the airport. So yeah, it's one of those things that is like incredibly disappointing, but there's some sort of great lesson there. And I think that there's something here that you may have seen, or you're connecting the dots right now, that this is something that happened in your past. This is something that happened in your past. It's not happening again. Something that happened in your past where there was a delay. This could have been during Mercury retrograde. Say, for example, you had plans to go travel for Christmas and be with family or friends, whatever. And then Spirit goes, we're going to create the scenario for you so that you get delayed and you don't do that, so that you can really see truly if you really want to do that. Is it really nourishing for you in your soul to do that? So that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, the two of Wands in the reverse would be exactly delays. It would be hidden fear and bad planning. I also see that this card with this yokai that looks like a cat with two tails and has the globe there, is trying to, put out the fire, because there's too much of it and it's about to be scalded. Even itself is made of fire, the element of fire. So again, it's like sometimes our own, I wouldn't say brilliance, but our own ambitions can be over exhausting for ourselves. So there's something, again, there isn't really any earth energy here apart from the Empress here, but there's nothing here about being practical. There's nothing here about being grounded. But of course, it's implied here that the ancestors are saying there's something about strategy, planning, and being grounded in something, okay, before you move forward. I want to finish this reading with the Romance Angels cards. So one card from the Romance Angels. Yeah, you deserve love. You are loved. And flirt. Exactly. So you are loved. If you have never felt that love from another person, growing up or otherwise, you are loved by your ancestors. The romance angels are cheering you on in your quest for great love by letting you know that you deserve it. As a child of God, you're naturally a loving and lovable person, as is everyone. You have the right to be treated with kindness and respect by everyone in your life. If you've had harsh life experiences, you may have blamed yourself and felt unworthy of receiving affection. This card is a reassurance that you do deserve it. You are beautiful. You're a beautiful being of God's pure love and light, no matter what any person has said or done to you, and no matter what happened in the past, God's handiwork can never be undone. The more you affirm, I am lovable, I am loved, I'm loving, put it down in the comments, please, the more this experience comes true for you. Affirmations help you believe spiritual truth or spiritual truths at a deep, unconscious level. This in turn allows you to attract loving people, relationships and circumstances, and you definitely deserve that. Exactly. It's exactly what I was mentioning. The flirt card is extending your light-hearted energy to others. That will happen soon, I feel, and flirtatious energy will come to you as well, and you'll be able to feel more light-hearted in the near future too. Let's get one card from the Psychic Tarot. As I shuffle, as you know, all of my readings are timeless. Bookings are available at this time. Take advantage of the discount code that you have, and there are actually new bookings available on the website, so make sure to check there. See if also there is a sale on. I believe that there is a sale on for some bookings too. There are limited availability for some bookings, so check that. And if you'd like to tip me as well, I really greatly appreciate it as an act of your appreciation and energy exchange. I mean, look at all this pink. Crown chakra, gorgeous card to have. So this is about your connection with your ancestors more so. It's about the seventh heaven and the seventh sphere. It's about your crown chakra having a stronger connection clairvoyantly and clairaudiently for some of you with your ancestors, but with the messages that come in through spirit from God. I would also encourage you to meditate over this card. Maybe some of you could have this as a screensaver. This color could also be significant as well. Sorry, I can't quite see it because of the bright light. For you, maybe this is a color that you could be wearing to help enhance your clairvoyance or your psychic power or your psychic gifts or your psychic connection to the Almighty in the streams of ancestors, guides, messengers, angels, archangels, animal spirits as well. I do see that. I also see CC being significant, the letters CC, and double letters being significant as well. The month of July could be significant too. Cancer season could be significant too. Just going back, we've got Gemini energy, we've got Taurus energy, we've got Libra energy, we've got Pisces here. We have Aries energy here as well. And Cancer, as I mentioned. And Sagittarius as well here with this card of the bow and arrow. So thank you again, Ildiko, for this beautiful offering to the collective of Abstract Medicine. We'll definitely use this in the next reading too. I do hope you've all loved this reading. Please let me know by pressing the like button. Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Consider doing that. It really helps to raise awareness of Abstract Medicine on YouTube. And I'm wishing you well. See you in the next reading. Bye for now.